Hello, I am Dr. Peter Stiernstedt. I have found that many of my students are unsure what is involved in being critical, but are unwilling to say so because of some sort of assumption that they somehow are already expected to know. Therefore, in this video, I will briefly explain what it means to be critical in an academic context, and then I will give you 11 tips to go from critical reading to critical writing. Demonstrating your competence in the critical reading of the literature through the critical reading that you produce, for example for your assessments, will undoubtedly be a condition for your academic success and subsequently award of your qualification. There is a widely held belief among academics that no one can have monopoly on what is to count as knowledge or on what will work in practice. Lack of agreement among experts is particularly prevalent in the social fields of inquiry because of the nature of social sciences and its intrinsically value-laden ways of understanding. Therefore, and unsurprisingly, there is rarely consensus among academics or practitioners on the values informing their views, nor are there any means of proving, at least not to everyone's satisfaction, which values are the right ones to hold. Consequently, your ability to adopt and maintain a critical stance towards others' claim to knowledge is very important. But what does it actually mean to be critical in an academic inquiry? Being critical in academic inquiry means 1. Adopting an attitude of skepticism or reasoned doubt towards your own and others' knowledge in the field of inquiry and the processes of producing this knowledge. 2. Habitually questioning the quality of your own and others' specific claims to knowledge about the field and the means by which these claims were generated. 3. Scrutinizing claims to see how far they are convincing in the light of checking, for example, whether the components of a theory are logically consistent, whether there is sufficient evidence to back a generalization based on research findings, or whether the values underlying prescriptions for improving practice are acceptable. 4. Respecting others as people at all times. Challenging others' work is acceptable, but challenging their worth as people is not. 5. Being open-minded, willing to be convinced if scrutiny removes your doubts, or to remain unconvinced if it does not. 6. Being constructive by putting your attitude of skepticism and your open-mindedness to work in attempting to achieve a worthwhile goal. Challenging others' work to find a better way of doing things is acceptable, but indulging in destructive criticism of others' work just to demonstrate your intellectual prowess at their expense is not. Now, this is obviously easier said than done, but the more you learn to be critical, the more you take charge of your analytical skills and your understanding, rather than being merely the passive receiver of others' wisdom or the overactive promoter of your unjustified opinions that often leave others unconvinced. Now, it's also important that you apply to your own work the same critical approach that you are applying to others' writing, because the readers of your work may be just as critical as you are. And that brings us to the 11 tips on how you go from critical reading to critical writing. Number 1. In critical reading, consider the author's purpose in writing the account. In critical writing, state your purpose in what you write to make it clear to your readers. Number 2. In critical reading, examine the structure of the account to help you understand how the authors developed their argument. In critical writing, create a logical structure for your account that assists you with developing your argument and make it clear to your readers. Number 3. In critical reading, seek to identify the main claims the authors make in putting forward their argument. In critical writing, state your own main claims clearly to help your readers understand your argument. Number 4. In critical reading, adopt a skeptical stance towards the author's claim, checking whether they support convincingly what they assert. In critical writing, assume that your readers adopt a skeptical stance to your work, so you must convince them by supporting your claims as far as possible. Number 5. In critical reading, question whether the authors have sufficient backing for the generalizations they make. In critical writing, avoid making sweeping generalizations in your writing which you cannot justify to your readers. Number 6. In critical reading, check what the authors mean by key terms in the account and whether they use these terms consistently. In critical writing, define the key terms you employ in your account so that your readers are clear what you mean and then use these terms consistently. Number 7. In critical reading, consider whether and how any values guiding the author's work may affect what they claim. In critical writing, make explicit any values that guide what you write. Number 8. In critical reading, distinguish between respecting the authors as people and being skeptical about what they write. In critical writing, avoid attacking authors as people, but be skeptical about what they write. Number 9. In critical reading, keep an open mind, retaining a conditional willingness to be convinced. In critical writing, assume that your readers are open-minded about your work and are willing to be convinced if you can adequately support your claims. Number 10. In critical reading, check that everything the authors have written is relevant to their purpose in writing the account and the argument they develop. In critical writing, sustain your focus throughout your account and avoid irrelevancies and digressions in what you write. Number 11. In critical reading, expect to be given the information that is needed for you to be in a position to check any other literature sources to which the authors refer. In critical writing, ensure that your references in the text and the reference list is complete and accurate so that your readers are in a position to check your sources. And there you have it. Those were the 11 tips on how to go from critical reading to critical writing. So next time, when reading literature, make a habit of noticing what other writers do that helps or hinders your understanding of whatever they're trying to communicate to you. If you liked this video, please hit the subscribe, like, and notifications button to stay current with any updates. If there's anything particular you would like me to cover, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to upload a video on your question. And always remember, knowledge is power.